So this car, the Mark II X100 8th generation, which was in production from 1996 till 2000, was arguably the best Mark II ever produced, and it in fact had some very unique features that its replacement, the Mark II X110 ninth generation, didn't even get. Some of these unique features included frameless windows, swinging AC vents, among others. This was and is still a car with a unique character, and no wonder quite a good number of people still love them despite their age, myself included. In fact, I would rather get this Mark II instead of the updated X110 ninth generation. This car was built to last a lifetime. It's very comfortable, handles very well, and being an older car, it's very affordable to buy. And no wonder it's among the best fast cars to buy on a very tight budget. And it's not just any other car for point A to point B transportation, it's a car that will also give you a dose of performance. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We are going to be talking about this car in depthly, so please stay tuned. And as always, if you find this content helpful, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. Welcome to IK Photo Reviews. So this car was related to the Toyota Chaser. They shared the same platform, meaning quite a good number of components were shared between these two vehicles, from the engine options, transmission options, suspension components, etc. Then it was also available in wagon or estate form, which was named the Toyota Mark II Qualis. These wagons are more common in our neighboring countries like Uganda and Tanzania, but here in Kenya they are a bit rare. Now, on to what propelled or powered this car. There were four engine options: a 2000cc inline six cylinder coded the 1G FE that produced 160 horsepower. The second option was a 2500cc, again inline six cylinders, coded 1JZ GE that churned out 200 horsepower. The third option was the holy grail and much celebrated turbocharged version of the 2500cc inline six cylinders, coded the 1JZ GTE that produced a healthy 280 horsepower. It's still a seriously amazing engine, but quite rare. It's not very easy to get this particular option locally. Lastly, there was also a 3000cc, again inline six cylinder, that gave out around 220 horsepower. If you've noticed something, these were big engines, especially for the naturally aspirated options, yet they didn't produce huge, very huge horsepower figures. Like, for example, the 3000cc six cylinders only produced around 220 horsepower. This means that the engine is not strained at all, and no wonder they were extremely reliable and durable. Power was sent to either the rear or all wheels via either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed conventional automatic. Now, speaking from a reliability point of view, these are among the most solid engines that Toyota has ever produced. They can very easily get well past 500,000 kilometers without needing any serious engine repairs. All you need to do is change the oil filter, air filter, generally just do the basic maintenance, drive it reasonably, and the probability of this car letting you down will be literally zero. Now, unlike the modern cars, this car was devoid of the many sensors and sophisticated electronics, and that consequently leads to much better reliability. All the four engines I've mentioned are very good. Even the turbocharged 1JZ is very good. Though with any other turbocharged engine, if you skip on the maintenance, the turbo may end up dying on you, and replacing it is not a cheap fix. The most common option locally is the 2000cc, 2500cc, and 3000cc, but the 2500cc turbo is a pain to get. Something to take note of is that these now being high mileage engines, there may be some issues. Most probably, maybe the former owner didn't maintain it well, or it was driven carelessly. So it's very important to conduct a mechanical inspection, but generally, with very high mileage, some issues may crop up. For example, you may find that some of these engines may consume a bit of oil due to worn out piston rings. In other cases, the valve sensors can fail, and there can also be a bit of electrical issues. You may find that the electric seats fail to work, or the electric mirrors, and even the swinging air vents. And sometimes the cause may be something very simple. A bit of cleaning and greasing can solve some of these issues. But generally, it's a very robust and well-built car that is also affordable to maintain. On to fuel consumption. These are big engines with high mileages, so don't expect them to be very efficient. And again, as I've always said, consumption also depends on how well the vehicle has been maintained over the years. The 2.0 liter can return figures of around 7 to 12 kilometers per liter, the 2.5 between 8 to 10ish kilometers per liter, the turbo variant between 6 to 9ish kilometers per liter, and lastly the 3.0 between 6 to around 10 kilometers per liter. The fuel tank capacity is 70 liters. Then in terms of the suspension setup, it gets wishbones at both the front and back, and no wonder it's a very comfortable car, and it also handles quite well. That suspension coupled to the short height of only 1400 millimeters translates to a low center of gravity, which consequently leads to very minimal body roll around corners. It's a car that really hugs the road pretty nicely around the corners. Stopping power is made possible by discs at all the four corners, with the front corners being ventilated. This car weighs between 1390 to 1450 kgs, which is not that much considering how big those engines are. So the power to weight ratio is quite decent. That's why even the smallest engine, the 2000cc, pulls like a train from a stop. So what about the price? Currently, depending on the mileage and condition, you can get this car from around 250,000 Kenya shillings to a maximum of around 450, 500,000 shillings for extremely good ones with all the features. Remember, there are some with sunroofs, rear spoiler, swinging AC vents, and electric seats. So considering the price, it definitely offers pretty good value for money. In terms of the design, I must say this car looks quite long. It looks simple and straightforward. I particularly like how elongated the head and tail lights are. And by the way, some people may think that it didn't come with fog lights, but it actually has them. They are the yellow lights integrated into the headlights. Something else unique about it are the frameless windows, which really look cool. Its simplicity is again mirrored on into the interior, which is very much basic and functional. Space-wise, it's good enough, nothing much to complain about. Now, what are the pros of this car? Number one, it offers incredible value for money. It's extremely reliable and has impressive handling. The only con of this car is its efficiency, which is not so good, but you also have to consider that these are big engines. Though if you can get the 2000cc option that is still in good condition, it should return about 7 to 12ish kilometers per liter, which is really not bad. So what do you think? Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Will you buy this car, or do you have one? If so, what has your ownership experience been like? Do let me know. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this has been helpful. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. You can also support us by purchasing some of our merchandise at affordable prices. Stay safe, ride and drive safe, and see you in the next one.